welcome to another unboxing. Today we have Adaptabletop. So this is, I don't know if you can tell from the illustration on the cover, more room for your games. So this is kind of a tabletop platform, kind of an elevation, done by Gamestart. Gamestart Edizioni, a Italian company. So this is the basic set. Here's everything that is in the box. We can see. So there's going to be 6 panels, 12 legs, 4 stability adapters, 7 dynamic stability adapters, rubber stoppers for the legs, a multitasking tool which clips onto the legs, and it also includes, from the Kickstarter, these were stretch goals, STL files for trays, more leg extensions, and more of the connectors. The STL there's a couple of custom designs for like fantasy or sci-fi for the legs you can print on your 3D printers. So let's see. Oh, I guess that's it for the information. There we go. So there's some photos of kind of what we're talking about in case this made absolutely no sense. So for RPGs, you can kind of break this up into several different areas. And for board games, you can get the board off of the table so any dashboards or pieces or tokens have room off the edge. So this is the selection of colors for their first Kickstarter. So they did silver, black, green, blue, red, and gold. The handle will tell you what color this is. And I think silver was kind of their default. A lot of their photographs, like you can see here, a lot of their photographs were done with the silver plastic. But I opted for the black. So the handle is telling us this is black, and we will take a look. And it seemed like, I guess that was a good decision. I just wanted the platform itself to be kind of as hard to see as possible, not so conspicuous. And they said with color matching, they did a second run. So they've actually had 2 Kickstarters. Their second Kickstarter just finished, their first just fulfilled. And I think in some parts of the world, it's still not there. We'll take a look and see where they did their manufacturing. So they may have had some delay, just like everyone else with the pandemic. They may have had some delay. And you can still late pledge their second Kickstarter, which included LED lighting for this setup from the IndieGoGo. So there's an IndieGoGo page for kind of late funding if you want to order. So it'll give you the discount, the same discount that the Kickstarter gave you off of the retail, but we don't know if they're ever going to get to retail since they're having such a, you hear some stuff in there since they've had some trouble just getting their Kickstarter fulfilled. So let's take a look at what you get inside. We saw or what it looks like. We already saw what's going to be in here. Yeah, so stuff is reasonably well packed. Oh, that's nice. So each panel is individually wrapped, so it's not going to be damaged. So there you go. It's just like giant Legos for your tabletop. So we'll open a couple of these up and try not to make all that noise on mic, and put some of these together so you can kind of see what the idea is. So here is panels. So we've got 6 of these in the basic set. There's a little packing material. And unfortunately, as you can see, things are just kind of floating in there. One of the stretch goals was a tray to hold everything in, and it actually showed the box opening flat. So there was a lid on the box on the side, and it opened, from a flat position. That seems to have been changed. That may have been, due to restrictions, manufacturing, costs, whatever. So we did lose a stretch goal from this first Kickstarter. There should be a tray to hold everything in there, and obviously there is not. And this is opening from the top. So let's get all these panels out here first, and then I can dig around to try to rescue all the additional pieces. There we go. Yeah, it sounds just like Legos too, doesn't it? Yeah, so here are the connectors. So as you can, it's a giant Lego set. So we're just going to be building a Lego platform, and here's one of the legs. And as you can see, so you can go with a shorter, there's a shorter and then a an added height, and then there's something that can connect to the individual legs. Rubber stops that go on the bottom are kind of pads, and they also give you STL files for printing more legs, so you can do, I think, taller legs than this. But I think you'd have to do it out of ABS or something pretty significant. I don't think PLA will take the kind of forces we're dealing with here. So lots of legs. This is just going to be a lot of noise. Let's just dump this out. Oh, I believe this is our manual. So here's something else that the corners got cut on. This is our manual. There we go. So we're going to follow. A tray would have been nice. So we're going to follow these instructions. Here's a QR code if you need more resources for the instructions. So you get kind of the idea from these little simple line drawings here, how these go together. So we're just going to put them face down and connect some legs and see how stable it is. That's the thing that I'm most curious about. So this set was, I believe, around 90 euros, and that's what they're calling a discounted price. So let's slide all of this out. All right, and we'll get the box out of the way. With one or two more connectors here. All right, so here we go. And the manual. So here is the contents of a basic set. So the pledge that I did was for a 4x3 elevated because I wanted to. So they did advertise a wargaming set, and I think this is more. It seems to be. We'll find out stability wise when we put it together. It seems to be more specialized for board games and RPGs. Getting kind of the map off the table, and then with the additional lighting from the second Kickstarter, you can actually light underneath, and people can read their character sheets and things. But it's pretty expensive, or it's pretty expansive. You can't actually do like a 4x8 table with this. It's several sets. So to do that, you would have to, that would be, that's a lot. So that would be 5 of the basic sets, plus you'd need 2 more panels. So it's not made for full scale, but for a patrol, or especially kill team coming out, the kill team size, this basic set that we're looking at here could handle a kill team board, because that's basically like 2x3, a little bit bigger. But that would handle this, because each of these panels is 30 centimeters. So basically a square foot. So let's unwrap some of these and see what the production looks like. So there we go. So yeah, they've got a little bit of texture on the, and there's their little logo down there. Got a bit of texture, and it's pretty tough. It feels like the same kind of injection plastic that they do Legos with. It's strong. I don't feel, if it was a cold day and I really was feeling into it, maybe just like how your older, bigger Lego pieces, can actually be snapped, but this is pretty thick. You can see it's got some width to it. This is going to survive. If the legs are sturdy, this is going to survive a lot of weight. And the box that they came in, the box was a box within a box. So and it had the corner protectors and everything on it that you've seen a lot recently from China. So they protect the boxes from corner damage. So there's our 6 platforms, and we'll line up these legs here. So we're going to take, I guess let's just build a 4. So we'll follow, do they have instructions for 4? No, they just show the whole deal. So basically with this set, you've got 6. So you could do, as they show here, if you wanted to separate it, a 2x1 and then a 2x2. So a 2 and a 4 panel. But I guess let's go the whole way and see if we can do this. So let's actually see if we got what we were promised. Yep, there's 7 of these. And there's 4 of these. So these are the clips, the stability clips. You can clip the game mat or the board to the platform so it doesn't slide around or slide off. And the other thing, if you're doing multiple, they cut them out. They made them clear plastic, but they also did cutouts so that if you want to stack these platforms, the legs actually go right in there. So the legs aren't going to shift. You don't need to rely completely on the rubber pad. The legs aren't going anywhere when you sink them down into there. So that's a nice kind of dual function. And here are little rubber pads. So let's do that. So there's a little hex there. Yep, so there we go. Yeah, very easy to put on, and very, they're not going to spin around since it's not a peg. They're not going to spin around. Nice. Yeah, and the black plastic is looking pretty good. There's a little bit, a little bit of scratching. These have just been sliding around loose against each other. Yeah, a little scratchy. So this is probably what the platforms would have looked like had they not been individually wrapped, because the legs have seemed to taken a little bit more of a beating. But nothing horrible. Yeah, just a little bit of scratch damage on the legs. Yeah, that tray, I wonder what happened with the tray. I took a look on the Kickstarter page and did not see exactly what became of the tray, or even an announcement that they weren't going to do it. It's just when I opened the box, it opened differently from the prototype. And then once inside, there was all of this was just sliding around. So I would probably recommend you to, if you're going to put these back in the box, maybe get some Ziploc bags or something, or at least some bubble wrap, and get them a little bit more separated, because as you can see, let's see if I can get that really close. Yeah, as you can see, the way that the plastic is, it has caused some cosmetic damage on the legs, just sliding around in there. But it doesn't hurt the function. It's just the appearance of things. So yeah, this is how long it's going to take just to out of the box build this table. So not long at all. I mean, it's not a difficult procedure. And again, okay, so here is so here's kind of the accessories. They showed like soda cans and things, but they also do make acrylic cups that slide in here for tokens or dice or whatever you may need. But here is the function of that. So you orient this to the outside of the table, and you can stick your little cup of tokens or dice or drink or, I don't know, beer bottle, whatever you think might fit. But it's decent. It feels pretty tough. This isn't cheap. It's not cheap plastic that they used. So that should be pretty useful. So let's see what this whole thing is going to look like. I'll slide these legs to the edge of the existing table. Yeah, so basically this is just giving you a second layer of your gaming table and letting you put things underneath for miniature gaming and board games with miniatures in them. I think it's pretty useful. We won't be putting these on. This is kind of a what I showed you, kind of what that would look like. But we don't have anything to do with that right now, and it might make it a little more unwieldy. So set those aside, and we'll refer to our handy manual. Oh, and I guess we won't need these either, because I'm not actually going to be putting anything. I guess I could demo. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I'll show you guys a little surprise after this, and we'll see how that fits. So set these aside as well, the stabilizers and board clips. So, as per the illustration, let's just lay these out in a 2x3. And I'll show you what they recommend as far as, can we do this? I'll show you what, how they show to secure it, which is a little different than I thought, but it kind of makes sense that the legs are not so exterior. Okay, so here is our 2x3. And then we've got our seven pieces. So we're basically just putting one between each piece, because the legs are also working as connectors. So I'm going to be centering these perfectly. And so it's it's not quite the perfect fit of Lego, but you can I got my headphones clipped in there. There we go. Yeah, but I don't need any tools to do this to either take. Oh wow, that's a nice design too. There's a little as you can see, they cut a little lip in there so you can actually get your fingers underneath it to pry it off if you need to. So no tools are necessary to make any of this work. So that's a nice, that makes this portable and something you can easily pack up. And it does fit well. I mean, it's not a huge, as you saw, it wasn't a huge box. It was basically, you know, the 30 by 30, maybe a little bit more, like 32 by 32 centimeter box, and everything fit in there. So here they're recommending one connector between each of the panels, and then just to do, so the legs are, they just advise you to continue to straddle panels, and of course put legs at the junction, right? So you have the stability right in the middle. Yeah, those go in there pretty nice. But everything is shown a bit back from the edge, and I guess so that you're not actually, you know, knocking into these legs. And then, yeah, these are set a little bit in. And it's nice, you can actually just, if you want everything very symmetrical, you can just count in. So, one more here, and one more here. So as you can see, well, maybe as you may not be able to see, but because of the kind of token caddy access, things are, 4 legs are set right at the edge, 2 legs are at the junctions, and then there are legs that are connecting, just like these gray connectors that are connecting every other one of the panels. Okay, so after putting a bit of pressure on these, I'm going to move the microphone out of the way and attempt to turn this over. We'll see how secure this is. If you hear any crashing, don't worry, it's only my teacup. Da-da-dum. There we are. Wow. That's it. That's nice. Yeah, it's very stable. As you can see, actually I've got 2 legs that are a little bit off the edge of the table here. Let me, there we go. So now everything is on. Wow. This is nice and sturdy. This isn't going to be going anywhere. Wow. So, Adaptabletop by Gamestart. Yeah, this seems to be good, and it's a good amount. You can see from the height of the legs, I think it was 15 centimeters. You can see that it's going to give you enough to actually put things under, or you know, have a little bit of an edge to keep your dashboard a little bit more concealed. And it looks like just this basic set will hold a lot of standard board game, board game boards or tile-based boards. I think you'll have plenty of room. Some of the more sprawling games, maybe you'll need a double set, which is why I did get a double set. So I have the Plus set, I believe it was called, and that is 2 of these packs. I was hoping it was going to be some deluxe carrying box that would hold everything, but it's actually just literally 2 of the standard sets together, so it's 2 separate boxes. So not super easy to carry, like it's not one solution for storing them all. But yeah, this appears nice and strong. So let me take a look real quick at something and see if I can put something on this table. All right. So here's a little treat. This is something I picked up from Free League, and let's see how well it fits and what it looks like on this table. So here we are. Oh, nice. Okay, so I will need probably another panel on each side. But here it is, the Forbidden Lands cloth map. So you can see it's a hex map from Free League. So I think the paper would actually fit perfectly on here. The paper map was a little bit smaller. The hexes were closer to an inch. But there we go. So we can elevate the whole progress. And just to prove I'm not lying, here's the legend down here, in case you didn't recognize the Shroud and Fangwoods. Yeah, this is the cloth map from the Free League Forbidden Lands basic set, the original release. So nice, yeah. It doesn't quite fit on the 6-panel, so the 2x3. So you need a little bit, but actually, you know, as a cloth map, it lays like a tablecloth, so it can sit over the edge and work pretty well. So this would be nice. It'd be nice to have this elevated off the table so everyone can have their character sheets, and then we can be marking where we are. And I'm thinking about looking for some 3D printing models that can represent things on this map, and that would actually make it really nice. And just, you know, take the plastic and make a kind of do faux metal effects on it, so we can have a nice cloth map with little bronze-looking tokens on it to mark every place we are. So hopefully someone has thought to start sculpting those already, but I'm sure there's a lot of default fantasy that will work. So yes, there is a application of this tabletop. So your hex map can be put above the tabletop. So, and also I think the One Ring, the Free League release of the One Ring, they're doing a fabric map as well. So you got a little cheat at what the quality of that may look like. All right, so this has been another unboxing. Adaptabletops. Oh, let me give you the box that we unboxed. The Adaptabletop by Gamestart Edizioni. The kind of elevation for your gaming platform. And actually, if you're using your dining room often and you have the space to actually move this off, you know how they make those very expensive gaming tables where they have a recessed and you put the tabletop on top. This is a cheaper version of that. It runs you about $100, and you can keep your board game kind of in position, or, you know, your pieces in current state, and just kind of move it off the table, have your dinner, because that's the one thing that they did show off in the Kickstarter, is the whole thing is, once you put it together, it stays together, like it moves as one piece. It's a pretty solid piece of furniture. So you could easily keep your board in whatever state it was, unless it's a very precarious game, of course. But, you know, you could move this off to the side and actually have the function of your table, your kitchen table back. And, yeah, so this works, I think, well for RPG tabletops, for board game nights, and maybe even in board game cafes. This would give you a little bit of it just kind of takes the risk of spills and things out of the they're not they're out of the question. They're no longer a threat to your games if you're putting everything above the table itself. It's not going to stop greasy fingers, but it is going to stop people actually spilling drinks on your tokens and boards. And then also for wargaming. So being able to put the miniatures off the board and just and have very specific boundaries and an elevated tabletop, and also getting things up a little bit gives you another kind of strategic angle to look at it. You're not bending down quite as far to get line of sight. But as I said, it's a bit expensive if you want to make a full elevated gaming tabletop. Not expensive, not compared to the miniatures for those games, but it will run you a couple $100, maybe $3 to actually get enough of these panels to do that. So for, I believe, €92, which is the discounted price, you get this 2x3 gaming surface, which would be great for just about anything. I mean, Nemesis and anything I can think of that I've played recently would fit on this surface, and then give you a lot of extra table for all your tokens and miniatures that aren't in the game yet. And would help you keep track of everything. So very versatile. If you're interested in something like this, they are still on IndieGoGo. You can order for the exact same price as a Kickstarter, and they've also included neoprene mats. There's tablets and different things, and also different additions, different things you can clip onto the edges to hold cards, and a DM screen, I believe. There's all kinds of things specialized for either board games or the RPG, running an RPG, that would help. And then, of course, a frame that runs around the edge of this table that houses a strip of LED lights that have an app that you can use to operate the color. I believe are battery operated, so you could even use them at a cafe. And you can either set them above the edge of the table, on the top edge of the table, so that it's lighting the tabletop, or underneath, which I'm not showing you, or underneath, so that underneath the tabletop is illuminated for the players to be able to see, read information and cards and things more easily. So, yeah, I want to put this to use and actually find out how this functions in actual situations. I mean, as you can see, it's not going anywhere. It's very sturdy once assembled. I was worried I was going to be putting pieces back on. So it doesn't state on the box whether this was manufactured in China or not, but I'm kind of guessing that it was. Yeah, the individual pieces, nothing is marked as made in China, but there were delays because of the pandemic. So I'll put the link for the IndieGoGo in the description, and I'm not sure how long that's going to be available, but you can get perks directly from that. You don't have to wait for a campaign to finish or anything. But both the first two Kickstarters have finished successfully. I don't think amazingly successfully, but they did get fulfilled, and hopefully it gave them, I guess it did give them enough to run a second one and update things with an LED. But Adaptabletop. So take a look if you're interested, and it gives you a nice kind of versatility to what you've been doing. If everyone's been on the table, you can kind of pull your heads up a little bit, lay out your dungeon maps and your miniatures, or get a board game away from all that beer. So thank you for joining me. If you liked this video, please give it a like and help it be found by other people. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get notifications of our live streams or other videos as they're posted. We do lore series, actual plays, reviews of games, and take a look at upturntable.com, and also consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/upturntable, as well as coffee.com, or as co.fi, so coffee, or just PayPal itself if you want to support what we're doing and see more of it. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.